on, guys? It is June 13th, 2025, and I'm checking in.
DVWB Daily Vlogs with Blake.
I haven't done one of those intros in forever. I kind of miss those. I do really want to get back to a point where I'm doing these more regularly. So at the end of the year, I could do like a little collab of me being like, here's this day, here's that day, here's this day, here's that day. And then I could do like a little like thing and you could see what I look like throughout the year and it'd be really cool. Am I going to do that? Absolutely not. Actually, that sounds like a lot of work. And you know what I don't like doing? Working. Anyways, speaking of which, I just got off work. I am going to make myself a very special steak meal today. I'm very incredibly excited about it. For some reason, ribeyes were half off. And the guy in the meat department is this old man, and he's so sweet, and I love him to death. He, when he gets really excited, will tell everybody everything over and over and over and over again. So he walked by my desk maybe about 6 times today, and every single time he's like, half off ribeyes, half off ribeyes. Make sure to go into the little bunker at the front of the store. They have half off ribeyes. And I was like, okay, you got me. I'm going to get a half off ribeye. So I did that. I'm very excited about it. I am currently house sitting for my aunt. So cooking this is going to be a little bit difficult. And I probably need to buy every ingredient that I need. And I decided I'm going to make steak sandwiches. I think that sounds like a really good time. And because it's Friday, I got a wine I want to try if I can find it. It's a sparkling red wine and it sounds really good. So that being said, I am actually at the store. I'm probably going to go run into the store and then I'll give you guys a little haul when I get to my aunt's house. How does that sound? Alrighty, gang, it is now about like an hour and a half later, so I'm gonna go to give you guys the haul. I went ahead and put all of my groceries straight into the fridge at the second I got here because I ended up getting my groceries and then going to my house real quick to grab a couple of things from my house, and I was at my house way longer than I meant to be, so I was concerned that these were going to go bad. So I'm gonna take everything out and kind of go bag by bag and show you everything I got. So first bag, since I am making myself a steak sandwich, I went ahead and got myself some good old-fashioned sourdough bread. I'm incredibly excited about that. It's from the bakery from the store that I work at. I work at a Target, by the way, for anybody who's curious. I got myself some fresh thyme because if you're making steak, you got to baste it in some fresh thyme. I think that's always a key part. Next up, we got ourselves some sliced mushrooms. 10 cents more to get it pre-sliced. Just get it pre-sliced. I feel like that's such a great convenient thing. And I'm going to saute those for my sandwich. And then I also got myself, sorry, I got to put that bag out of the way. I also got myself, wait for it, pepper jack cheese. That's everything that I got after I ran into the store. And then, like I said, I'd already gotten the steaks, so I have another bag for that. I got myself 2 ribeye steaks. One on one side, one on the other side. I'm insanely excited about this. I think that it's going to be great. And then I also got myself some stuff for my house, like I said. And then I also got myself a wine, which I will be pulling out and showing you guys in a little bit. I'm going to be cracking it open. I'm going to be doing a review of it for my TikTok. So I will probably have some of it on this video. But if you want a full-length review, that's going to be on my TikTok, which is also called The Book of Blake if you want to find it. But I got myself some diced onions for my house. I had cheeseburgers like 2 days ago, so I already had some diced onions, which were perfect, ready to go. I made myself a homemade sauce. I'm going to put the ingredients on the screen. This is everything that's in it. Very good, very yummy. 10 out of 10 would recommend making this. I didn't think my aunt would have any of those ingredients, so I made it at my house. And then the last thing I got, I brought myself a stick of butter because my aunt's house is a margarine house. So they have a bunch of spreadable butter instead of actual butter, and I prefer real butter. So that's what we're rocking with. And then, like I said, I'm going to show you guys the wine that I got, and I also have another thing that I'm reviewing on TikTok. I am going to show the review clip on here as well, but it's something that I got from the TikTok shop, so it makes more sense to make a TikTok of it. But we got ourselves Italia Roscato. It is a sparkling red wine. So insanely excited. So insanely excited. Like I said, I'm going to probably give you guys a little mini review of it in a little bit, the next video clip that I do an update for. But that being said, I also am very hungry, so I'm probably going to go ahead and start making the steaks. Okay, but now it's time to start cooking. I don't know how I feel about this angle, but look, you can check out my nice musculars. Nope, no musculars. Okay, maybe the lighting's bad. We're going to blame the lighting and not the fact that I actually don't have musculars. I'm going to be starting off with my sauteed mushrooms and onions. So first off, I have, like I said, these are pre-diced onions. I diced them like 2 days ago, and I know you're probably not supposed to save onions. Like, that's a big thing. And supposedly, if you refrigerate onions, they become like very like toxic. But that being said, I don't care. I'm cooking them down. They're going to be fine. I'm just going to go ahead and throw them in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and rinse these off and then throw those in there as well. Okay, so it's not going to be perfect, but I went ahead and threw those in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of oil on top, and then I'm going to let this cook for probably about 10-15 minutes on a high heat because I really want to brown these as much as possible. Okay, so I went ahead and took those off the heat. I'm going to go ahead and put a I want to say maybe 2 tablespoons of butter down on the pan, and then go ahead and put down my first steak to sear. I'm going to cook them both for about 2 minutes on both sides at about medium heat. So it should be relatively easy. It should go relatively quick. Okay, I almost forgot one of the most important parts. You need to season your steak before you put it down. And also, preferably when you're making steak, you should be cooking it when it's sitting at room temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and season this up. Just going to do the basics: salt, pepper, some garlic powder. And then, like I said, we're going to cook it for about 2 minutes on each side. This is a very thick piece of meat, so you want to make sure you're really getting as much as possible. And I'm going to mix this up before you're looking at it and you're like, Blake, what are you doing? Oh, you can't even see it. I'm going to make sure that that's mixed in well enough. But the big thing is when you cook meat, a lot of times what will happen is the majority of the seasoning cooks off. I think it's like 60% or something of the seasoning will end up falling off. So you really want to coat it as much as possible. Like, trust me, this might look like it's a lot. I guarantee you it's not that much. And we're also going to baste it in fresh thyme later, so it does not need to be perfect. Like, it really, trust me, this will be good. So we're going to go ahead and kind of brush that in, flip that over, season it some more. So like I said, season this up as much as you possibly can. We're going to go ahead and press that down in the pan, and we're going to let this cook for about, like I said, 2 minutes on each side. Okay, so this side is not as beautiful as the other side, but you just want to get a nice little crust on it. And then you don't want to worry about, like, you see how that's super pink? Don't worry about that because we're going to be cooking it for about 3 minutes later. Now we're going to want to go ahead and get some more butter on the pan and go ahead and toast up some of our bread. Okay, so I kind of switched up the plans a little bit. I wanted to heat these up a little bit more, so I cooked those on that pan, and then I went ahead and decided I'm going to toast my bread in the oven just because I have a lot of toast that I'm making. I'm planning on making 3 sandwiches, so that's going to be a lot of toasting. Doing those 2 pieces of bread at a time would have taken forever. So now we are pretty much ready to baste this. So once again, we're going to do about 2 tablespoons of butter in the pan. And scratch that. We're going to do 3 tablespoons of butter in the pan. Then we're going to go ahead and throw in some of our fresh thyme and a bunch of garlic powder. Now would be a great time if I had actual garlic. You should do this with actual garlic. But apparently my aunt, who is Italian, does not have actual garlic. So that's a little upsetting. Already, I actually got saved a little bit. My aunt does have minced garlic. I just completely missed it earlier. So we're going to use minced garlic. And then, like I said, we're going to go ahead and use the fresh thyme that I bought. Just going to go ahead and take some bit of this thyme, throw it in there. And now that that's nice and getting and going, we're going to go ahead and throw in our steak. And it's going to be 1 to about 2 minutes on both sides, constantly basting. So if you don't know what basting is, you're just trying to get that butter and throw it on there as much as possible. Should be yummy, should be good, should be delicious. I will see you guys in about 3 minutes. Alrighty, gang, and so now we're going to go ahead and slice up our steak into nice little thin pieces, and then we're going to go ahead, put a little bit of sauce on the buns, put down a layer of the meats, top it off with that beautiful yummy goodness, and then I got some pepper jack cheese that I'm going to throw on top. So we've got a little bit of sauce. Like I said, I'm going to put some on the top bun, some on the bottom. And then we're going to go ahead and take just a couple pieces of our meat for reference. I did end up overcooking them a little bit, but there's still a little bit of pink on there. I think that looks pretty decent. I'm just going to go ahead and throw down about 3 pieces, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, I think I could throw a little bit more on there. Come on, let's go ahead and do the 4th one. Looks like 4 might be the max. We'll try to slide this last one on the end there. Something like that, absolutely beautiful. Just a little simple thing like that. Absolutely beautiful, lovely. Absolutely beautiful, lovely. And now check out the goddamn cross section on those. I mean, oh my good God. Lord have mercy. That is a thing of beauty. Oh my good God. I mean, check it out. That's what it looks like. We're going to go ahead and do this little first bite review. I mean, between sourdough bread, pepper jack cheese, relatively well cooked steak. I did accidentally overcook it a little bit. I wanted it to be a little more pink in the middle, but damn, this is good. I'd be lying if I said this is not fantastic. I'm a pretty big fan. I'm going to give this solid 7.2 out of 10. Alrighty, now future editing Blake here. I completely forgot to do an outro for that video, so whoops whoopsie. But also, I kind of wanted to show you guys this. Later in the day, like I said, I had 2 steaks there. I cooked the one for that video and to make those sandwiches in particular. Later, when I was drunk, I made other steaks, and they looked significantly better, so check out those. Look at how good those ones look, compared to the ones that I just showed you. That's crazy. My drunk self is apparently a better chef than I am, but that being said, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming by and checking it out. I love and appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys subscribe and stick around, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.